Ashley.
And I'm Teddy.
And you're listening to The Listing Lounge. Today we are on episode 3, you guys. Woo!
We made it.
Yes, we did. And we want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and being our supporters, rocking with us. We do appreciate you. Please tag your information below in the comment box because we want to make sure that we are staying connected with our community and following you.
Yeah, if you follow us, we'll definitely follow you back. Don't be afraid to slide in our DMs if you have any questions. That's what we're here for. And it's never too much for us to just get back in contact with you and communicate because we want to get to know our listeners.
Yes.
So this episode, in the spirit of like wrapping up the year into Q4, getting into those New Year's resolutions, we kind of just wanted to talk about like the basics of where you should start if buying a home is on your to-do list for 2025. So we're just going to cover like, I guess it's like 3 steps that you should take before you even start looking of where to start. So we're just going to jump right into it.
Yes. So for step number 1, okay, when you're looking into purchasing a home, questioning it, thinking about it, you're seeing it on your social media, this person buying this home, they got their keys, or you've been renting for a while, you're tired of renting, now you want to move up to the next level, and you want to go ahead and purchase your first property. What you need to do first and foremost is you need to locate a realtor.
Yeah, that's what you call us.
Yes, yes. The reason why is because a realtor is going to be there for one to help you get through from start to finish. And they're going to make sure they're sitting down with you, understanding your goals, even understanding your trials, what issues that you may be coming across from when it comes to you wanting to get to this goal, your aspirations, etc. We're here to make sure that we're able to get you to that goal, to the finish line successfully, and to hold your hand because it's not going to be easy always. It is a very emotional process. However, you have someone backing you up. We got your back.
Yeah, your realtor, you want to think of us as your advisor, as your counselor. We'll listen to any problems that might come up. We'll listen to any questions that you have, and we're going to help you stay on track. And I know sometimes people think, well, I just kind of want to get a new construction home. I feel like I don't need a realtor because I can just drive up to the community and get the house that I want. But it's important to recognize that the new construction community, they have their own agents that work there. And those agents, they work for the builder. Those agents don't work for you. So not saying that they don't have your best interest in mind, but their job is to get that sale and to get the numbers up in the community. So if you go in with your own realtor, we can still help you. We can also still negotiate for you. We can give you other lender options. I know that a lot of new communities, they have their own lender that they prefer for you to use, but it doesn't hurt to get a second opinion. So if you come in with your own realtor, we'll kind of help you decipher whether the deal that they're offering is actually the best deal for you. We can help you determine, like, should you pay for this upgrade now or should you wait a little bit down the road when you have more money to upgrade your new construction home. So regardless of whether you're purchasing a resale or if you're purchasing new construction, you want to have your own counsel, your own advisor, and someone who's on your side.
Absolutely. So now that we have the first step out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about step number 2. Yes.
Step number 2 is connect with the lender. And sometimes you have your own lender. Sometimes your realtor is going to prefer that you go through a lender that they are familiar with because it's all about communication with us. We like you to go to lenders that we know are going to be responsive. We want lenders that are knowledgeable about the different products that they're going to be talking to you about. And so you can always go through your realtor to get connected to a lender, but the lender is going to look at your credit and then they're going to walk you through that pre-approval process. Those are going to be 2 really important things that we need to be knowledgeable about as your realtor before we help you look for a home. I know that most realtors, they're not even going to start showing you homes until you have that pre-approval letter.
Right.
And the reason is without that letter, we don't know how much purchasing power you actually have. And so it would kind of be like a waste of your time if we get out and we start showing you houses and maybe you can't afford those houses or maybe you can afford more house. So we want to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row. We have all the information that we need before we get out and start hunting for homes.
Yes, and make sure that you're being open and flexible when it comes to finding a lender and advising what your realtor or your advisor is telling you who you should go with or whom they recommend. Don't just go with your cousin Pookie, who they suggested, that you should go with. I'm telling you from experience, okay, you guys. Again, this is essentially why it's important for you to, for one, first look for a realtor because they're going to have your back the entire way. And sometimes when you may come across someone that your family member had recommended, sometimes in cases I've had to protect my clients from that lender because that lender was not competent enough to understand certain things, especially when it comes to if they have licenses in all these other states. They may not know all about North Carolina. They may not know all about South Carolina, etc. So, but again, our job is to protect you. And that's why we're going to give you the recommendations for people that we have experience with, that we trust, knowingly that they will take care of you and make sure that they also will help you get to the finish line.
Absolutely. And there's different types of loans. So you also want to make sure that your lender is educated on the loan type that you're going to be using. You can be doing FHA, you can be doing conventional. You want your lender to understand, well, what is your goal when you're purchasing this home? Are you purchasing it to live in it as a primary residence, or are you looking to be an investor? So these are all questions that you want to discuss with your lender before you start the process, and that's why it's important who you pick. Not saying that Cousin Pookie's a bad person, but maybe Cousin Pookie doesn't know how to close a FHA loan, and so you want to talk to your realtor and get a better idea of who you're working with.
Yes. So let's go ahead and talk about number 3, which I think is the most important of all, and that is to make sure that you have the funds, that you have savings before you even come to a realtor, because it's important, for one, that you have something to rely on, and especially when you're going to go ahead and look at homes, you get pre-qualified. It comes to the point where you're going to need to put down due diligence money or earnest money. That's coming out of your bank account, your pockets, and it's important to understand that you have also a lot of other fees that are going to come out throughout the process.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people, the first question they ask me is, how much money should I have saved to buy a house? And I will say that it's kind of like a case-by-case scenario. It really depends on what type of home you're purchasing and where you're purchasing that home. But I think that you should have anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000 saved up before you start looking for a house. And that's because, like Kiera said, you are going to have to pay for that due diligence, earnest money, and then sometimes with new construction homes, they make you put down a deposit. You don't necessarily do due diligence or earnest money. They just have a deposit that you'll have to pay up front. And you want to make sure that going into this process, you're not spending every single dime that you have, to where if an emergency comes up in your personal life outside of the home buying process, that you're just out of luck. So $10,000 to $20,000 in savings before you start searching for a home.
Yes, and you don't want to be that person that becomes house broke, okay? That also comes to the point of understanding your budget, which is strongly and highly important. But also, I know you guys seen that meme where people, oh, I've got my first apartment, or I got my home, and you only got no furniture, all right? You're going to have to transfer your utilities. You're going to have stuff turned on, etc. You want to be able to transfer into your purchased, gorgeous home that you can call your own, happily, comfortably, without feeling like you sacrifice one over the other.
Absolutely. And not saying that there's anything wrong with sleeping on an air mattress those first few weeks while you wait and get yourself together. I think some of us have been there before, but you want to be comfortable when you move into your new home. You want to feel like it's something to celebrate, and not like you just kind of like spent all your money and now you just have nothing besides the four walls around you.
Yes.
And so we hit on the 3 things. So 1, get a realtor. 2, get a lender. And 3, have savings. So you have all these 3 things. You're starting the process. And I think sometimes when people get into it, this is when they start feeling a little bit discouraged, because maybe you didn't get approved for as much as you thought you were going to get approved for. Right. Maybe the houses that are in your price range, you're like, oh, I'm not too crazy about any of these houses. Or maybe you have to start looking for alternatives. So that's where we kind of want to uplift you and encourage you and let you know that your first house might not be your forever home. It does depend on like your age and maybe what your goals are long term, but your first house doesn't have to be your house where your family just lives there for 20 years and nobody ever leaves, and that's just what it is, right?
Right, right. And to be honest with you, the point is to make sure that we're helping as many people to get into the game, because
Mm-hmm.
real estate is one of the quickest and fastest ways to create generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
We cannot express how important it is, to understand the depth of real estate. It's something that you can, for one, if you are the first time buyer within your whole family, you're changing the trajectory of other family members and relatives' idea of or perception of ownership. It's also something you can transfer down onto your children's children, even if you don't even have children right now. Understand that that's a powerful tool and the asset that you have backing you up,
Yeah.
especially within the Charlotte market, because no matter when you buy, it's going to continue to raise up in value, and
Yeah.
you could do so much with that. Um, so just talking about that, and what else would you say is like a good
I
thing
think
to
you
go?
were right on the mark. I feel like I know of one client, she's already on her fourth property. And she started off with just like a little townhome, nothing special. It didn't have all the bells and whistles, but she's also a super handy person. So instead of paying that community money to upgrade certain things like backsplash or even ceiling fans, chandeliers, things like that, she was thinking long term. She was like, let me just get into this house, and there's a lot of things I can upgrade later. I think she even upgraded like the handles on her doors, and she made those look a little bit more expensive and modern. So there's certain things that maybe you're not going to get that on closing day, but a few months later you can start renovating on your own. And if you're a DIY person, get on YouTube, start looking up how to do things yourself. That's how you can save money. But like Key said, we are thinking about building generational wealth. So you get into your first house, you make some upgrades to it, you've already started building equity. Now you have some equity and you can use that to kind of leverage to get into another home that is a little bit more of what you were looking for in the first place. But you have two homes now, so you can use the other one and start making some income off of it, and you're already a real estate investor. It's that simple. Like, that's how easy it is to get into becoming an investor.
Yes, and I also want to make a note that it's important for, guys, for everyone out there to take advantage of this opportunity while you're working your job.
Yeah.
Okay? I feel like we're in a culture where a lot of people want to say, "Hey, I'm making this amount of money. I'm an influencer, blah, blah, blah." And it is nothing wrong with that. Okay? It is nothing wrong with that. And a lot of people are making a whole lot of money with that. I'm talking about the people who are currently working at a 9 to 5 and they're feeling like bad that they're still at their 9 to 5, or they're not
Mm,
seeing where else they can go from there. There is so much opportunity that you can use, okay, when it comes to, and leverage when it comes to investing in the real estate. If you got a 401k, use some of that to go ahead and purchase your property, okay? That is a tool that is there for you to use, not just for retirement, which is also necessary, but for also for you to use that while you're currently looking at other things that you can do besides, just your current job. You can do this on the side, and then next thing you know, a
yeah.
year to 2 to 3 or however long, you don't even have to probably even worry about still being at that job. You can probably leave it because of the fact that you have real estate providing a successful income for you, and you can just continue to live and thrive and do, other opportunities that you may be thinking about doing.
Yeah, real estate is such a great way to build long-term wealth. It's not going anywhere. You own the property, you can buy land, you can generate wealth through land. So definitely use your day job, your 9 to 5, to help fund your dreams. And this is a really easy side hustle. Like, purchasing a property and then renting it out later. And then you can hire a realtor or a property manager to take care of the day-to-day tasks like maintaining maintenance, helping you find tenants. So there's a lot of things that you don't have to do yourself. Even if you own the property and you don't really want to be that involved, you don't have to be. You can hire somebody to help you take care of those little tasks that come up, and it's just there making you money,
Yes.
adding zeros to that bank account.
Yes, which again, make sure that you find you a realtor. Okay, if you're in the Charlotte area, if you're in North Carolina, South Carolina, reach out to me and Teddy.
Yeah,
Okay, and
happy
tell
to
us
help you.
all of your goals. Okay, because we want to hear about it. We want to know your story, and we are here to help you get to the finish line and help make all your visions come true.
And we
Yeah.
don't charge anything for consultation. So I think some people are hesitant because they don't want us to like try to force them to buy something. I would never try to force you to buy a property. I really just want to listen to what your goals are. If you're like, hey, Teddy, I don't think I'm even going to be ready to buy for another year or 2 years. Okay, tell me. I want to know, why do you feel that way? I'll give you some advice, and I'm just there to check in with you periodically, see how you're doing. But we're never going to be like, oh, you don't want to buy a house? Conversation over. We're here to advise you, and we're really like your teammate. We're your friend, and it's just a super casual relationship because we understand that this is a huge life decision, and it's also kind of daunting for most people. So don't ever feel like you're going to be talked into something, or that a realtor is going to judge you just reaching out or DMing us with a simple question.
Yes, everyone needs a realtor friend, okay?
Yes, it's important.
Yes, take advantage of it. Okay.
So if you are sitting down and you're writing out your 2025 goals, you're not really sure where to start, we just gave you 3 major areas that you can focus on. I think the first 2, getting connected with a realtor and a lender, are important. Another reason you want to get connected to a lender starting off is because if you're interested in down payment assistance programs, or if you need to build your credit, maintaining that relationship with a lender is going to make sure that you're staying on track. I know that there's some lenders out there who will even give you the step-by-step, like, this is how much you need to save, this is how you can save it, these are the credit cards you need to pay off. And so that's a really great way to, one, have a relationship with somebody that you can trust, because you're getting to know them while you're in that process of getting ready to purchase a house, but they're going to give you the exact things that you need to do to achieve your goal.
Yes. All right, you guys. Well, we got you up and started for the new year, okay? And it ain't over yet.
It's not over. This episode is just short and sweet because we know that people are busy this time of year, but we're going to be back in 2025. We have some really great episodes coming up. We're going to bring on an attorney and talk about trusts and estates, things like that. And we're still looking for your feedback. So if there's something that you in particular want to hear about on the podcast, just reach out to us and we'll do our research and we'll put it on the show. All right, now we're going to get into a very exciting part of the listing lounge, our very first lounge letter, courtesy of Key. So lounge letters is a segment in our show where we go over anonymous stories from anonymous realtors, and they're just going to be telling us maybe about some funny or scary or just unexpected client interactions that they've had. And these are just to kind of give you guys an idea of what it's like to be a realtor. And we'll also use them for educational purposes, but it's just supposed to be a good fun time.
Yeah.
So Key has a really good story, and she's going to do our first lounge letter. If you want to send in your own lounge letter, you can use our email address that we'll leave in our caption and description. Send it in. Again, we'll keep all parties anonymous for the stories, and we'll just share them with our audience. So let's get into it.
Yes. All right. So for our first listing lounge letters, I'm going to make it juicy for you guys, okay? This is one of my first crazy encounters, okay, in the business. But it was the funniest, I would say. I had a squatter encounter with my client who was listing their home. It was an investor property. And unknowingly to him, unbeknownst to him, there were squatters in there. And apparently they have been squatting there for quite some time, okay? So coming up to the property, and I was approached in the driveway by a lady who had a lot of hair on her chin, okay? But she came up to my window and said, "Who are you?" I was like, "I'm the listing agent. Who are you?" And she tells me, "Oh, well, the owner said that I can stay here."
Which you did not.
Which she did not. I can stay here until Monday, until we can find another place. And we are putting the home on the market Monday, okay? And just as you know, for one, dealing with squatters is one issue. But when you try to put a house on the market and then you're dealing with this and they're saying they can stay on the day till that you're actually putting fresh in the market, that's just a no-no. No. So I had to politely tell her, "No, ma'am, that's not happening. You cannot stay here. You're not supposed to be here." And she bended, so I thought, and They had left. She leaves. I meet my client there, and I'm like, did you know there were squatters there? He tells me that when he had actually got to the property beforehand, he came through the door and heard a voice saying, who is there? Who are you? And he told them, I'm the owner. Who are you?
Not them asking who he is.
Yes. I was just like, got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me. So I told him they have to leave and what the issue is, what, the things we would have to worry about, as far as the listing and then other issues dealing with squatters, especially in North Carolina. So they need to leave ASAP. So they did leave. And with the property, we already knew it was a lot of stuff in there. It's an investment property. Basically, he bought it from another owner who was going to rebuild it, flip it, and they never finished it. So we, of course, go ahead and contact someone to clean it out. And next thing you know, get another phone call. This is like 48 hours later that they're back. Okay? The squatters are back. After they said that they were going to leave. And I let them know what the issue was and what the warning was going to be if they did come back. They didn't listen. So had another encounter, had to hurry up and get back to the property and let them know that they must leave. They do not have no contract or no lease agreement with the owner saying that they can reside there. They're not paying no rent and all this other stuff. And next thing you know, I end up talking to the woman's boyfriend. So they're living together in this home. After about 10 to 15 minutes of just talking and letting them know what the issue is and me trying to like readily get them out of the property, like ASAP, amicably, before calling the police, they started taking things out. They started understanding, okay, the boyfriend is talking to me, telling me about his sister, how they ended up in the home because his sister had kicked them out of the property.
Going through the whole life story.
Yes.
Just pack it up.
Yes, I'm just like, okay, come on. I'm trying not to, make them upset or anything like that. I'm trying to keep everything cool and collected so that way it doesn't arise into a bigger issue. Just because, like, the people that I was talking to, I was just like, wow, the woman had more hair on her chin than her boyfriend. All right. But as they're packing stuff up, I'm noticing that the woman is taking stuff through the back door. So while he's talking, I'm like, why are they going out the back door? What is going on? Skip like 10, 15 minutes later of the conversation wrapping up, he goes out to the back door, and then I follow behind them. And I just got curious, to see, okay, why are they going out the back door? Literally, as soon as I step out the back door and I'm looking to my left, I see them crawling through the side window of the home. So come to find out, his sister that kicked them out actually lives next door. So they were aware that the house was empty and they decided to squat there. God bless those people.
Now they're probably squatting at the sister's house.
Probably. But when I tell you he was coming through that window like bruh man from the 5th floor, I was like, I can't make this up. I cannot make this. I was like, oh my God. Let me just hurry up and close this door, lock it. They had clearly had intruded through the back door. And there was some marking showing that the door was damaged and everything like that, unfortunately. But as I'm coming back through the house, I decided to look through the room and see, okay, just again, my wheels are spinning. I'm like trying to put two and two together, like what in the world is going on? I look in the room, they have a full setup. They got a bed, they got a dresser. It looked nice. So they had a nice little setup. I'll admit, I was just like, okay, they were living in there. All
Must
right.
be nice.
Right. But I'm just like, there's no power cut on in this house. There's no nothing in here. It was just.
And there was no plumbing, right?
There was no plumbing. Let me tell you, it got worse, you guys. Once they finally left, I told the person that, again, who was supposed to clean out the home, that there's a lot of stuff in here. There were squatters there, etc. They get there, if they're cleaning out the home, I get a call and I get some text messages. And I get some graphic text messages.
No plumbing.
Yes. Lord. They were using they crafted a hole in the floor, were using it as a commode. Literally, the guy was just sending me the pictures. He was telling me they stacked it. It was like it was a lasagna.
Ooh.
Okay, one layer was poop, one layer was pee, another layer was poop, and I'm just like, he was like, I have to see these pictures just for like, just in case. And I was like, oh Jesus, oh my God,
traumatizing.
it was traumatizing, and I felt so bad because the guy actually had his mom help him clean up the house. Let me tell you, I will use them people again and again and again, and I just felt so bad because for one, stuff was just coming out the woodworks left and right from one event of a squatter being there, and then like just two, you're having to pick up poop.
That would have been my last day as a cleaner. I'll tell you that.
Let me tell you, in real estate, you will never be bored.
Never.
Okay, people be seeing all these glamorous shows saying, "Oh, I'm $1 million agent." Blah, 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 blah. They do not show you the real stuff. Yeah, it's gonna be drama sometimes. It's not the drama that you see on TV because, first of all, we're too busy to be worried about and doing all that. But secondly, the drama is behind the scenes, dealing with situations like a squatter possibly, or the house done flooded, or whatever the case may be.
You see a little bit of everything, and I'm going to share my own lounge letter on the next episode because I've seen some things too. For some reason, mine involve animals, so we're going to get into that next episode. But thank y'all so much. Again, if you want to share your listing letters or your lounge letters with us, you have our contact information, and you could be a client too. If you've had a crazy realtor, why not? Spill the tea. We'll talk about it. We won't name no names.
We promise.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you on the next episode, and we'll see you in the new year.
Bye.
Niggas want me to get ratchet. Niggas want me to attack it. Put the hood on, all they calling me Cassius. Aren't you like Bob Saget? 3D, I can't pass it. Eating everything, nigga, no fasting.